I'm Laura Hawley. I'm the artistic director of the Camera Singers, and this is Jocelyn Pritchard, the founding conductor of the Camera Singers, who founded the choir in 1961. And Jocelyn, the first question I have for you is I'm wondering if you can talk a bit about what the choral scene was like in Edmonton when you started that camera and how the choir started.
Okay. The University of Alberta Mixed Chorus was the big choir there. We would have had, I think, 125 people in that chorus. Certainly, at some time in its history, it had that number, and was doing two concerts. I think one in the spring and one at Christmas time, and was a big influence in the city and in the province. In Edmonton itself, Vernon Barford was the musician at, is it All Saints Anglican Church in Edmonton, downtown? He was the organist and choir leader there, but he had a girls' choir that was very popular, and I think had a lot of, excuse me, a lot of concerts, or they were uh, they were able to sing at different events. The churches had great choirs. Robertson Church had one, Knox Church had one, and probably many others. Those are the two that I remember well.
Can you talk a bit about your own development as a choral artist? And there was a moment you talked about the other day where you knew you wanted to direct choirs. Can you share that story again?
We moved to Edmonton from Halifax in 1946. Yes, and I went up to the university registrar to enroll for first year of the Bachelor of Music degree. And they told me I couldn't get in. And I said, why? And they said, because you only have one science from your high school matriculation papers. So my father was furious and went up to the registrar and complained and da to no good. And I had to go back to high school for a year. So I studied physics at high school for a year. And one day I returned from lunch at home, which was nearby, early for the afternoon class. And I heard this wonderful sound coming from the auditorium. And it turned out to be the University of Alberta Mixed Chorus, which was not able to tour in southern Alberta because of the muddy roads and the buses could not get through. So they toured the schools in Edmonton, and that was when I knew that I was going to be a conductor.
Can you tell us about what your musical life was like when you became the artistic director of DeCamera, when you started the choir? What were you doing musically at that time?
At that time, I had 5 children, so I was busy with them, of course, and I was also conducting the nurses' choir at the hospital. I remember I think the final concert I had with them, I was 9 months pregnant, and everybody was scared to death that I was going to produce right then and there, which didn't happen. But that was what was going on there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great.
And musically, I was practicing and playing. I was accompanying singers and who were studying at the with Catherine Wendell, who took the students who were in the music program, the singers in the music program, and taught them.
So, and you're a pianist.
I'm a pianist and have done a tremendous amount of accompanying. I have played a couple of concertos with an orchestra, and I still, at age 93, am playing with a duet partner, and we perform once a month.
That's amazing.
It's quite wonderful. I'm very, very fortunate.
Yeah. I am also a pianist, and I hope I'm still playing when I'm 93.
Keep the
That's
fingers moving.
yeah, keep the fingers moving.
Yeah.
That sounds like advice for life. Can you tell me, after you moved on from DeCamera, what was your musical life like from that point forward?
It's moving from Edmonton to Vernon in the Okanagan in BC was quite a move. And there they had the Okanagan Orchestra, which played in the South Okanagan right up to Kamloops in BC. And then they decided they should have a choir. So they asked if I would consider forming a choir, and I said, well, yes, let's try it out, see how it works. So there were 100 in that choir, also not auditioned, people who wanted to sing, and we would perform once a year with the orchestra. So they were big works that we were doing. Beethoven's Ninth was one.
Oh, wow.
I believe it, yes.
Very exciting.
Well, it was exciting for the singers, that's for sure. I did not conduct the concerts when they were with the orchestra.
And how long were you with that group?
I was with that group until 1975 when we moved to Vancouver.
You're not the only musician in your family. You also have musical children. You've passed on your career path to some of your children. Is that right?
Well, and my husband was very musical too, but my eldest daughter, Margot, went to university and played French horn. My son, Bob, is professor of music at the School of Music at UBC and is doing all kinds of fascinating things with sound. I don't really call it music, but it's fascinating things with sound, like people moving that have the sensors on them, and those motions are then fed into a computer and can see all kinds of patterns that these people are making. It's fascinating.
Yeah,
I
that
can't explain it any better to you. I'm sorry.
oh, that's fine. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm really, really curious to know more about that. Is any of that movement that he's doing, is any of that with singers, or is it related to choral music at all?
It's with dancers mostly,
Mhm.
and he's working with the physics department. There are physicists involved in this as well. So, and he's been all over the world pretty well with this stuff. So it's not, I shouldn't call it stuff. He would not be pleased. Anyway, with the style of music, uh, and it seems to be a big thing in different parts of the world.
How do you think choral music has changed over the years since the camera started?
I think the change has come um, to a more varied repertoire because choirs are commissioning people like yourself to create new works for them. So that makes a very interesting combination with the past music that they've been used to having.
Hmm.
I think it's great that this is working out so well for so many people.
Yeah, it's really true. I think that choirs all over Canada really have a passion for new music,
Hmm.
which
Yes,
is
you're doing a good job.
very exciting. Yeah.
One of
And
my friends here, Mona Edmondson, is very big in the music field throughout the world, actually, and she just does all kinds of things with composers from all over.
yeah, she's incredible, Morna.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely amazing person. Actually, I think she was the person who initially shared your email address with me because when I
Say,
saw that you were living in Vancouver, I thought, I bet Morna probably knows you.
for goodness sake, that's neat. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a small world, eh? Well, my next question was it was going to be asking you what you're doing now musically, but you've already talked about the duets and you're performing every month, you said.
yes, we have a little group here called Music Makers, and they are people who have sung or played an instrument in the past. Some still are, and we have a theme for every month that we get together, and we either practice new music we haven't learned before, or we repeat some of the things that we had learned, And it's a great get together. Coffee, of course, and refreshments and music that each of us can perform, can give. And it's a lovely social time as well as a musical time.
What are you working on right
We're
now?
working right now on Brahms. No, it's not Brahms. A Dvorak piece. And the most interesting thing to me is that the score we're using, which is mine, has my mother's maiden name on it, and then her married name on it, and then my name on it. But inside, it shows where my daughter Barbara and I have played it at some time in the past. So that's been carried on. So the music is, well, my goodness, my mother, it would have been like 1926 that she would have had that music.
Wow. Oh, it's a family heirloom, the score. That's,
Heirloom, that's quite true.
yeah. And it does the fingering still, is it fingering from 1926 also?
Well, some of it, we've added some fingering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, that's great. I love that. I love that. I think my oldest books are also my my favorite ones, the ones that have a history of, people who have played from them and
Uh-huh.
signatures. And I have an old book from a piano teacher of mine from when I was a kid, and I got it signed by Angela Hewitt.
Oh, very nice.
I played in a workshop. So then, but it was my teacher's book.
Yes.
But I became so attached to it, she ended up giving me the book. It was
Uh,
Bach Preludes
we
and
know
Fugues.
Angela here
Yeah.
quite often, and in fact, she stays with one of the members of Music Makers when she's here in Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my last kind of official question, but I wanted to ask if there was anything else you'd like to share, a favorite memory from Decamera or final comments or anything at all.
My memories have to do pretty much with the fun that we had. I remember a Bach Christmas cantata that we performed. I think I still have the scores for that. I remember many of the people who were in it. I think I mentioned to you that uh, John Wetherill, who was the pianist for us, named the camera
Right, right.
in the beginning. Yeah. So it's memories of those people like that that are
Yeah,
so great to have.
yeah. Oh, that's heartwarming to hear because the fun aspect of the choir and the friendship aspect of the choir is still so strong, you know? When I first,
Today we would have social events for the choir. Today there were no, or in those days, there were no social events at the camera. Probably because I was a little too busy.
yeah,
I don't know, but
yeah, yeah.
today it would be quite different, I think.
Yeah. Well, thank you. This is so great to have a chance to talk with you
Yeah.
and hear from.
Well, I just have to say I've been so very, very fortunate in
Mm.
that my fingers have lasted, my eyes have lasted, and my brain has pretty well lasted. So
Yeah.
I feel very, very fortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And many, many, many friends through the choral experiences that I had.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's great. What a great note to end on. Thank you so much, Jocelyn.
Well, it's so good to see you and to know what you look like now. Have a great time in Halifax. I hope you enjoy it there.
Oh, thank you.